faithfully delivering value, interpreting great books from around the world. Hello, this is Sally's Book Club. Today we're exploring Social, Why Our Brains Are Wired to Connect, subtitled The Three Driving Forces Behind Human Social Behavior. Social connection is a vital part of our lives and a key source of happiness. If you could grab hot pot with friends anytime or share heartfelt talks with loved ones, people usually feel truly joyful. But when social bonds break down, like facing rejection, betrayal, or heartbreak, people feel gut-wrenching pain. So why does social connection matter so much to us? Well, today's book reveals our love for socializing stems from our hardwired brains that constantly drive us to seek human bonds. Even before you consciously notice, your brain's already processing social connections. Author Matthew Lieberman is a psychology professor at UCLA and founding father of social cognitive neuroscience. In 2007, he received the American Psychological Association's Distinguished Scientific Award for his contributions. This field's remarkably new, only about 20 years old. It combines neuropsychology with brain imaging to study how we understand social interactions. Today, I'll unpack this book through three key questions. First, why are our brains biologically wired for social connection? Second, what core drives fuel human social behavior? Third, how can we harness our social nature to live better? Let's dive into question one. Why are our brains wired for social connection? When discovering someone's passions, we often ask, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? Because voluntary leisure activities reveal true interests. So what does our brain enjoy doing? Research shows during downtime, our brains default to social cognition. Simply put, social cognition covers everything relationship related, like building rapport with coworkers or planning surprises for someone you're dating. Wondering if that new friend likes you back? All these fall under social cognition. Oh, the brain area for social cognition. Researchers call it the default network. After finishing a task, like working out or, solving math, that default network just switches on automatically. Basically, the moment we're free, our brain jumps to social thoughts. But just how obsessed is it with socializing? Scientists designed an experiment. Subjects did brainy tasks like math puzzles, and between them, the screen flashed rest, so they knew to take a break. They varied rest times, sometimes minutes, sometimes seconds, and scanned subjects' brains with instruments. Brain scans during rest showed that whether the pause was 30 minutes or just seconds, the default network activated automatically. It's like a gamer kid grabbing every spare minute to play. Our brain sees every chance to ponder social stuff. Not only is the brain hooked on socializing, it's innate. Studies on newborns just 2 weeks old found their default network fires almost like adults. At that age, they can't even focus their eyes, so forget about nurturing social interests. That wraps up my take on the first question. Why are our brains born to love socializing? When everything stops, the default network kicks in. This network's main gig is pondering all things social. So yeah, socializing is what our brains dig the most. It pools every spare moment to mull over social ties, investing tons of effort to become a pro at connecting. So why does it do this? Now, on to the second question, the big deal in this book. What powers human social drive? There are three key drivers: connection, mind reading, interpretation, and coordination. First up, connection. Simply building bonds between people. Our brains seek connections for two reasons: survival needs and the pursuit of happiness. Now, first, survival. Babies are incredibly fragile at birth. Their brains aren't even fully developed, so they absolutely depend on others to survive. So survival demands that we connect with others. Second, evolution gave us pain and pleasure systems. The brain's pain center is called the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. Quite a mouthful. For simplicity, let's call it the pain hub. This pain hub processes both physical and social pain. Physical pain means bodily harm, like cutting your finger or spraining an ankle. Social pain is emotional suffering, heartbreak, or losing a loved one. People describe social pain as heart-wrenching or like being stabbed in the chest. And no, they're not exaggerating, it genuinely hurts because social and physical pain share the same neural pathways. Plus, social exclusion causes this pain too. In one study, participants were told to wait in a room before an experiment. Two others in the room claimed to be fellow participants. Actually, they were plants, part of the experiment. They started casually tossing a ball and included the real participant. After playing together happily, they suddenly excluded the participant, who became an outsider. Brain scans afterwards showed the pain hub lit up intensely, proving exclusion caused real pain. And get this, they were total strangers, yet rejection still hurt. In daily life, being excluded by close friends or colleagues is even more painful. Researchers also found that painkillers for physical pain, like aspirin, can actually reduce social pain. So when you're heartbroken and hurting, if someone tells you to take 2 aspirin, they're dead serious, not joking. We just covered the brain's pain center. Now, let's talk about the pleasure center. The ventral striatum, for simplicity, we'll call it the pleasure hub and the pain hub. Similarly, this pleasure hub handles both physical and social pleasure. That means to the pleasure hub, eating chocolate feels just as good as being adored by a loved one. It's also called the brain's reward system. It absolutely loves praise, especially emotionally charged compliments. For example, in a study, subjects read 2 letters, both from very important people in their lives, written to them. The difference was one letter was a factual description without emotion, like mentioning your jet black hair, while the other letter was packed with strong feelings. For instance, "You're the love of my life." Results showed that emotionally charged words intensely activated the pleasure hub. Since the brain craves praise but can't praise itself, it creates more chances to connect so others can compliment it. This drives people to cooperate or help others more as these actions spark social pleasure. Now, you might get why posting on social media makes you crave tons of likes, because more likes mean higher activation in your pleasure hub, leading to more happiness. So, since connecting brings joy and exclusion brings pain, our brains naturally choose to seek rewards and avoid harm, connecting more hardwired by evolution. And that's the first driving force of human social behavior. Connection keeps us alive and lets us maximize joy. But connection is just the foundation of social life, not the end goal. To connect better, our brains evolved the second social drive, mind reading. Mind reading, in plain terms, understanding others' thoughts. This includes decoding intentions, desires, emotions, our innate ability as natural as eating or drinking. You might not realize how awesome this skill is, but it helps us constantly in daily life. Without it, teachers couldn't tell if students understand or might teach kids like college students. Total chaos. When emailing, we consider if recipients will grasp our meaning for smoother communication. TV producers gauge audience preferences to create hit shows. And when choosing friends or partners, a key test is, can they understand me? Basically, we're assessing their mind reading skills. Studies show this ability matures around age 5. Like a 5-year-old picking heels, not dolls or toy dinosaurs, as a gift for mom, because they realize dolls are their preference, while mom prefers shoes. 2 brain systems handle mind reading: the mirror system and mentalizing system. The mirror system's key function: mental simulation. If I see you reach for a cup, my reaching neurons fire too. No actual movement needed. So in my brain, I'm synced with your action. This explains why we flinch seeing someone shocked, even feeling their pain. Mental simulation covers complex emotions too, not just simple actions. Like seeing someone get a breakup text from their girlfriend, you'd imagine how awful that feels. So you assume they're hurting. The mentalizing system's main job, helping us grasp the motives and meanings behind others' actions. It's the MVP of mind reading. Mirror and mentalizing systems work hand in hand. The mirror system answers the what, while mentalizing tackles the why and how. Seeing someone play mobile games, mirror system decodes person gaming. Mentalizing reveals they're relaxing and likely skilled. This shows that without the mirror system handling the first question, we couldn't answer the next two. So both systems are essential. The mirror system is mentalizing's foundation. But powerful as they are, they don't let us read minds 24/7. Mentalizing gets lazy. It requires effort, and our brains don't always want to work hard. So sometimes we ignore underlying causes. We see things but can't be bothered to dig deeper. Studies also show the system underperforms when we're distracted. That's mind reading, the second social drive. With this drive, people truly understand each other. Mind reading relies on two brain systems, mirror and mentalizing, with mirror as mentalizing's prerequisite. Now, the third social drive, harmonizing, how individuals blend with groups and society. Mind reading helps us understand behaviors and motives to build better relationships. But forming larger groups, it's not just mutual understanding. It requires everyone grasping the group's goals and acting accordingly. That's harmonizing. For example, there's this widespread idea that girls should wear pink, while blue is for boys. You might think that's totally normal. Makes perfect sense, since you've believed and dressed that way since childhood. But guess what? This pink for girls, blue for boys concept only emerged in the last century or so. About 100 years back, the common belief was pink for boys. It was seen as bolder and stronger then, while blue was considered delicate and dainty, perfect for girls. So what flipped this perception so dramatically? Imagine this process. At first, if someone suggested pink for girls and blue for boys, people would have seen them as weird. But as more people adopted it, amplified by media and advertisers, society gradually accepted pink for girls, blue for boys. This belief, it's the process of individuals harmonizing with the group. This shift happens thanks to the medial prefrontal cortex. We'll call it the self-awareness hub, since it handles two functions, one being self-identity formation. We often ask, who am I? That question is processed by this self-awareness hub. Its other function, absorbing external values and beliefs, meaning our self-concept is shaped by our environment. Nietzsche nailed it. The self forms in others' minds before being handed to us. Exactly this principle. The self-awareness hub unifies how we see the world and helps us view ourselves through the group's lens. Like if someone asks, how do you see yourself? Your answer likely includes others' perceptions, not just your own views, because this brain region internalizes external values as our own. Faithfully delivering value, interpreting great books from around the world. Hello, this is Sally's Book Club. Today we're exploring social, why our brains are wired to connect, subtitled The Three Driving Forces Behind Human Social Behavior. Social connection is a vital part of our lives and a key source of happiness. If you could grab hot pot with friends anytime or share heartfelt talks with loved ones, people usually feel truly joyful. But when social bonds break down, like facing rejection, betrayal, or heartbreak, people feel gut-wrenching pain. So why does social connection matter so much to us? Well, today's book reveals our love for socializing stems from our hardwired brains that constantly drive us to seek human bonds. Even before you consciously notice, your brain's already processing social connections. Author Matthew Lieberman is a psychology professor at UCLA and founding father of social cognitive neuroscience. In 2007, he received the American Psychological Association's Distinguished Scientific Award for his contributions. This field's remarkably new, only about 20 years old. It combines neuropsychology with brain imaging to study how we understand social interactions. Today, I'll unpack this book through three key questions. First, why are our brains biologically wired for social connection? Second, what core drives fuel human social behavior? Third, how can we harness our social nature to live better? Let's dive into question one. Why are our brains wired for social connection? When discovering someone's passions, we often ask, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? Because voluntary leisure activities reveal true interests. So, what does our brain enjoy doing? Research shows during downtime, our brains default to social cognition. Simply put, social cognition covers everything relationship related, like building rapport with coworkers or planning surprises for someone you're dating, wondering if that new friend likes you back. All these fall under social cognition. The brain's self awareness hub ingrains shared social values, ensuring aligned thinking, while the control system restrains behaviors against group norms, ensuring aligned actions. When a group thinks and acts cohesively, efficiency peaks. And with that, we conclude part two, the three driving forces of human social behavior. So we've covered them: connection, mind reading, and harmonizing. Through evolution, we first developed capacities for social pain and pleasure. To minimize pain and maximize joy, we instinctively seek human connections. Mind reading lets us understand others' thoughts and actions, enabling deeper bonds, while harmonizing blends individuals into groups, maximizing social efficiency. Hearing this, you might realize our brains are literally wired for social connection, a true social brain. Now, for the third question, how to harness our social nature for better lives, the author applies this to life, work, and learning. First, life. Since social ties boost happiness, we must deepen connections. Three suggestions. First, redesign living spaces for interaction. Add communal areas like game rooms, gyms, or theaters. As the saying goes, close neighbors beat distant relatives. Local bonds increase happiness. Second, form neighborhood committees or forums. Even posting "selling 2 concert tickets" boosts connection opportunities. Third, increase social snacking in daily life. Innovative term, explanation. Social snacks are connection substitutes. Photos, love letters, souvenirs, even sketching loved ones that simulate bonding. Moving on from life, let's talk about how to use our social nature to boost employee motivation at work. We usually think people prefer being helped over helping others. But once you understand the brain's reward system, you'll find people actually prefer helping others to get more praise. Professor Adam Grant from the University of Pennsylvania conducted a study on university employees whose job was to call alumni to raise scholarship funds for undergraduates. In the experiment, Grant split the staff into two groups. One group had a scholarship recipient, the beneficiary, visit them for just 5 minutes. After the visit, the supervisor told these workers, "See, these kids can keep studying thanks to our help." The other group just worked normally with no special setup. Statistics showed the visited group increased call time by 142% and funds raised by 171% versus before, while the non-visited group saw little change because seeing beneficiaries lit up their ventral striatum, the reward system. That great feeling spurred harder work, so giving employees more chances to help others boosts motivation. Finally, let's discuss how to leverage social nature to improve students' academic performance. The author's first tip is boosting students' sense of belonging. Factors include school bullying, a major concern. In the US, about 40% of students admit to being bullying victims. A 2016 global perspective also showed 25% of students experience bullying. School bullying severely harms students' mental and physical health and directly hits their grades. Research backed and sobering. Research finds students entering puberty with more peer bullying and exclusion have lower average grades and attendance. Schools with rampant bullying show significantly lower algebra and geometry scores than those with less bullying. Because exclusion causes chronic physical and social pain, which impairs working memory. Someone with chronic pain, physical or social, focuses most attention on that pain, leaving little energy left for learning, while kids with strong belonging avoid this pain and channel energy into studies. Beyond stopping bullying, fostering student connections boosts belonging, like organizing activities and creating peer support atmospheres. Studies show even reading a letter from older students increases belonging. Contents like, I feared fitting in, but teachers and classmates helped. Now I'm thriving. Second suggestion, harness mind reading skills to boost learning. We're naturally curious not just about what, but the why behind things. So teaching should emphasize why exploration for history. Beyond events, guide students to contextualize, ask why events unfolded under historical conditions. That concludes social. We've seen social wiring evolve through three drives. Connection provides necessity, mind reading enables it, harmonizing maximizes efficiency. Understanding these boosts happiness and productivity in life, work, and study. All right, that wraps up our exploration of social. Reading notes are below the audio. See you tomorrow.